Emily, a spirited 28-year-old nurse, urgently navigates the bustling hospital corridors. Her uniform is impeccably pressed, and her brown hair is neatly secured in a ponytail. Today marks her first day in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, NICU, a milestone that stirs a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation within her. As she steps into the unit, Emily is welcomed by the monitor's gentle hum and the disinfectant's sterile scent. She approaches the nearest incubator, her gaze falling upon a tiny infant surrounded by a web of tubes and wires. Just then, Dr. Ramirez, the lead neonatologist, joins her and begins to brief her on the most fragile patient in the unit, a 24-week-old preemie named Michael. Emily looks at Michael, who weighs a mere 600 grams, his skin nearly translucent and his body heartbreakingly delicate. Dr. Ramirez explains the grim prognosis. Michael's extreme prematurity has led to severe complications, including a brain hemorrhage and respiratory issues, making his chances of survival alarmingly slim. Despite the daunting odds, Emily feels an immediate bond with Michael. She leans close to the incubator and whispers, "Hello, little warrior. I'm Emily, here to care for you and help you fight." From that moment, Emily unwaveringly dedicates herself to Michael's care. She vigilantly monitors his vital signs, ensures he receives the proper nutrition and medications, and spends countless hours by his side. She sings lullabies and speaks to him gently, her words filled with hope and affection, even though he is too young to comprehend them. Days blend into weeks, and Emily grows increasingly attached to Michael. She celebrates every tiny victory, whether it's a small gain in weight or a slight improvement in his oxygen levels. However, her journey with Michael is also marked by moments of profound despair, especially when he faces critical setbacks. One night, while Emily is on duty, Michael experiences a severe respiratory crisis. With determination and skill, Emily works tirelessly alongside the medical team to stabilize him, refusing to leave his side for even a second. After hours of relentless effort, Michael finally stabilizes. Exhausted, Emily collapses into a chair beside his incubator, her eyes fixed on the tiny fighter. At that moment, she realizes she's not just professionally invested, she's emotionally committed to doing everything possible to give Michael a chance at a whole life. With renewed determination, Emily vows to be Michael's guardian angel, accompanying him every step of his arduous journey. 2 weeks have passed since Emily began caring for Michael, and her dedication remains unwavering. She spends every available moment in the neonatal unit, alert to any changes in Michael's condition. Her tireless work and profound connection with premature babies earn her the admiration and respect of her colleagues. Even during the most stressful moments, Emily exudes a calmness that reassures the little patients and their families. As the days pass, Emily notices small but significant improvements in Michael's health. His weight increases, gram by gram, and his lungs gradually grow more robust. She celebrates every milestone, no matter how minor, and eagerly shares the progress with Michael's parents during their daily visits. Despite the challenges ahead, Emily's optimism never wavers. However, the journey to recovery is fraught with difficulties. Michael faces numerous hurdles, including a bacterial infection that threatens his fragile immune system. Emily works closely with the medical team to combat the disease, meticulously monitoring Michael and ensuring he receives the necessary antibiotics. During the long, quiet nights in the unit, Emily often finds herself talking to Michael. She shares her own stories and dreams, telling him about her childhood, her aspirations to become a nurse, and her desire to make a difference in the lives of her patients. "You know, Michael," she whispers one night, her voice filled with hope and determination. Emily whispers to him one night as she gently changes his diaper, "I think you and I are a little bit alike. We're both fighters, determined to overcome any obstacle that comes our way. And I promise I'll be by your side, cheering you on every step of the way." As the weeks pass, Emily realizes that her bond with Michael has grown more profound than she has ever experienced with a patient. She worries about him even when she's not in the hospital, and her thoughts often drift to the brave little boy as she goes about her daily tasks. One day, as Emily sits by Michael's incubator, He opens his eyes and seems to look directly at her. Emily holds her breath, marveling at the connection she feels at that moment. Gently, she reaches out her little finger and caresses Michael's tiny hand. To her surprise, he wraps his small hand around her finger. In that instant, Emily knows she has made a silent promise to Michael, a vow to do everything in her power to ensure he has the opportunity to grow, learn, and experience all life has joys. With renewed determination, Emily sets out to face whatever challenges may arise, knowing that the bond she shares with Michael is an endless source of strength and inspiration. As the months pass, Emily's tireless efforts and dedication begin to pay off. Little by little, Michael gains weight and strength, overcoming each obstacle that comes his way. Infections become less frequent, and his lungs develop enough for him to breathe without a ventilator. Emily marvels at Michael's every accomplishment, celebrating each milestone as if it were her own child's. She has been by Michael's side at every critical moment, offering her medical expertise and unconditional love and support. As Michael's condition improves, Emily begins to prepare him for the day when he can finally go home with his parents. She teaches them how to change Michael's diapers, feed him, and recognize signs of possible complications. Emily ensures they are fully prepared to care for their son once he leaves the hospital. When the day finally arrives for Michael to go home, Emily feels a mix of pride and bittersweet emotion. She knows that although Michael's journey has just begun, her role in his life has been profoundly impacted. She gives him one last gentle touch, whispering, "You've got this, little warrior. I'll always be cheering for you." Finally, the day arrives when Michael is discharged. Emily helps his parents dress him in a soft blue onesie she gifted, with the word, "Brave," embroidered on the front. As she dresses him, tears fill her eyes, a blend of joy and sadness, knowing her time with Michael has ended. Before Michael's parents leave, Emily hands them a photo album she has been compiling over the past few months. It's filled with pictures of Michael, from the first day he arrived in the neonatal unit to the moment he could finally breathe independently. There are also photos of Emily holding Michael, singing to him, and caring for him every step of the way. "I want you to have these memories," Emily tells Michael's parents, her voice cracking with emotion, "so that you never forget how far your son has come and how solid he is." Michael's parents hug Emily, thanking her profusely for everything she has done for their family. They promise to keep in touch and to bring Michael to visit her regularly. As they finally leave, Emily stands in the doorway of the neonatal unit, watching Michael's family walk away down the hallway. Her heart is filled with mixed emotions: joy at Michael's recovery, sadness at his departure, and a deep sense of purpose, knowing she has played a pivotal role in giving this little boy a second chance at life. Emily wipes away her tears and takes a deep breath, preparing to get back to work. She knows many more babies need her attention and care, and she is more determined than ever to be their guardian angel. With a smile on her face and the memory of Michael close to her heart, Emily heads to the next incubator, ready to start anew. 3 years have passed since Michael was discharged from the hospital, and Emily's life has continued. She has cared for countless premature babies in the neonatal unit, each one holding a special place in her heart. However, she has never forgotten Michael, the little fighter who taught her the true meaning of perseverance and unconditional love. Despite promises from Michael's parents to keep in touch, Emily has not heard from them since they left the hospital. Initially, she constantly checked her email and mailbox for news, but as time passed, she began to accept that she might never see Michael again. One day, while Emily is at home enjoying her day off, she hears a soft knock on the door. When she opens it, she is met with an unexpected scene. Several black cars are parked in front of her house, and a man in a suit is standing on her porch. "Miss Emily Ramirez?" the man asks, his voice deep and respectful. Emily nods, confused and a little nervous about the presence of the cars and the unfamiliar man. "My name is James, and I work for the Morales family," the man continues. "They've asked me to escort you to a meeting with them. It's about Michael." Hearing Michael's name, Emily's heart flips. "Michael? Is he okay? Has something happened to him?" she asks hurriedly, her mind filling with worry. James smiles reassuringly. "Don't worry, Miss Ramirez. Michael is excellent. His parents wish to see you and talk to you. I want to take you to them if you are willing. Emily is silent for a moment, trying to process the situation. After 3 years without news, Michael's family's sudden reappearance has surprised her. However, the prospect of seeing Michael again is too tempting to pass up. Of course, Emily replies, quickly grabbing her purse and jacket. Just let me close the door. James nods and waits patiently as Emily closes her front door. He then guides her to one of the black cars, opening the back door for her to get in. As the car drives away from her house, Emily looks out the window, her thoughts racing with anticipation and excitement. The journey feels surreal, and Emily's mind is flooded with memories of Michael and her time caring for him. She wonders how much he has grown and what he looks like now. The car weaves through the city streets, and after what feels like an eternity, it finally pulls up to a large, elegant house. James opens the door for her, and as Emily steps out, she sees Michael's parents standing on the porch with warm smiles. They wave to her, and she can see the gratitude and happiness in their eyes. And then, just as she steps forward, she hears a small, familiar voice. Miss Emily. She turns, and there he is, Michael, running towards her with open arms. He's grown so much, yet his eyes still sparkle with the same determination and spirit she remembers. Emily drops to her knees, embracing Michael tightly as tears of joy stream down her face. Michael, my brave little warrior, she whispers, her heart overflowing with love and happiness. Michael's parents join them, and they all share a heartfelt reunion. They invite Emily inside, where they sit down and talk, filling her in on all the milestones and achievements Michael has reached over the past 3 years. They express their deep gratitude for everything Emily did for their son, and as they reminisce, Emily realizes that the bond she formed with Michael has remained strong despite the years and distance. As the day turns into evening, Emily knows that this unexpected visit has reignited a connection she thought she had lost. She feels a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment, knowing that she has impacted Michael's life and that he will always hold a special place in her heart. Her mind racing with thoughts and questions. Why does Michael's family want to see her after all this time? How is Michael now? Will he remember her? As the car drives through the city streets, Emily can't help but feel a mixture of excitement and nervousness. She doesn't know what awaits her, but one thing is sure. The chance to see Michael again is a gift she never expected to receive, and she is determined to make the most of this unexpected reunion. The black car pulls up in front of an imposing mansion in one of the city's most exclusive neighborhoods. Emily stares in awe at the elegant facade, with its tall columns and large windows. James, the driver, opens the door and guides her to the main entrance. Crossing the threshold, Emily finds herself in a large foyer decorated with exquisite taste. A marble staircase rises to the second floor, and artwork worth millions adorns the walls. Emily feels out of place in these opulent surroundings, accustomed to the simplicity of her own life. Suddenly, a familiar voice catches her attention. Emily, is that you? Emily turns toward the sound and finds herself face to face with Elizabeth Parker, Michael's mother. Despite the intervening years, Elizabeth looks as elegant and sophisticated as Emily remembers her. Mrs. Morales, Emily greets, extending her hand. It's a pleasure to see you again. But Elizabeth ignores Emily's outstretched hand and instead embraces her warmly. Oh, Emily, I can't believe you're finally here, Elizabeth exclaims, tears in her eyes. I've waited so long to thank you in person for everything you've done for Michael. Touched by the heartfelt show of affection, Emily returns Elizabeth's hug. You have nothing to thank me for, Emily replies. Taking care of Michael was an honor and a privilege. Elizabeth breaks away from the embrace and smiles at Emily. Come, there's someone here to see you. She guides Emily into a spacious living room, where a small boy is playing on the floor. The boy looks up as they enter, and Emily's heart skips a beat. His eyes, filled with curiosity and recognition, meet hers. Michael? She whispers, hardly daring to believe it. Miss Emily, Michael exclaims, his face lighting up with a radiant smile. He jumps up and runs towards her, wrapping his arms around her legs. Emily kneels to his level, tears of joy streaming down her face. Michael, my brave little warrior, she says, her voice choked with emotion. She hugs him tightly, feeling the warmth and life in his tiny body, the years of uncertainty and waiting to melt away at that moment. Elizabeth watches the reunion with a smile, wiping away her tears. He's been looking forward to this day for so long, Emily, she says softly. He's heard so many stories about you and how you cared for him. Emily looks up at Elizabeth, and gratitude and happiness are evident in her eyes. Thank you for bringing me here, she says. This means more to me than you can imagine. Still clinging to Emily, Michael looks up at her with bright eyes. Will you play with me, Miss Emily? He asks, his voice full of hope. Emily smiles, brushing a stray tear from her cheek. Of course, Michael, I'd love to. Emily feels a profound sense of fulfillment and joy as they sit on the floor and play. She knows that this reunion is not just a chance to reconnect with Michael but a reminder of the incredible journey they have both been on. The bond they share, forged in the neonatal unit during those critical early days, has endured and strengthened. The hours fly by as Emily, Michael, and his family share stories, laughter, and love. As the sun sets, Elizabeth invites Emily to stay for dinner, and they continue to talk late into the evening. Emily learns about Michael's progress, interests, and milestones. She shares her experiences and the memories she holds dear from her time in the neonatal unit. By the end of the evening, Emily feels a deep sense of closure and a renewed connection to Michael and his family. She leaves the mansion with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that she will always be a part of Michael's life, just as he will always be a part of hers. As she steps into the black car for the ride home, Emily looks back at the mansion one last time, smiling as she waves goodbye to Michael, who stands in the doorway, waving back enthusiastically. The journey home is quiet, giving Emily time to reflect on the day's events. She feels a renewed sense of purpose and determination, ready to continue her work in the neonatal unit with the same passion and dedication that brought her and Michael together. With building blocks scattered around him, Michael looks up, and his eyes light up at the sight of Emily. Emily, he exclaims, running to her with open arms. Emily kneels and hugs Michael, marveling at how much he has grown. He is no longer the frail, tiny baby she once cared for but a healthy, energetic boy with a bright smile. Look how much you've grown, Emily says, pulling away to get a better look at him. You've grown into quite the youngster. Michael smiles and begins to prattle on about his toys and preschool adventures. Emily listens intently, delighting in every word. As Michael talks, Elizabeth watches the interaction with a smile. After a few minutes, she clears her throat softly to get Emily's attention. Emily, I asked you here today because I wanted to explain why we haven't been in touch these past few years, Elizabeth begins. You see, shortly after Michael was discharged from the hospital, my husband received a job offer overseas. We had to move unexpectedly, and the process was very chaotic. I always intended to contact you, but between the hustle and bustle of moving and adjusting to a new country, time simply slipped through my fingers. Elizabeth takes Emily's hands in hers. But I never, not for a moment, forgot what you did for Michael and our family. You were our guardian angel in the darkest time of our lives, and I will never be able to express my gratitude for you adequately. Emily feels tears in her eyes as she hears Elizabeth's heartfelt words. I completely understand, Emily responds. Life can be complicated, and things don't always go as we plan. The important thing is that Michael is healthy and happy, and that's all I've ever wanted for him. Elizabeth smiles and nods. And a big part of that is thanks to you, Emily. Your dedication and love for Michael were instrumental in his recovery. They are silent for a moment, both reflecting on the journey they've been on. The room is filled with the quiet sounds of Michael playing nearby, a living testament to the strength and resilience that brought them together. Elizabeth breaks the silence. We wanted to bring you here today to thank you and invite you to be a part of our lives moving forward. Michael always talks about you, and we would love for you to visit us regularly to see him grow and be a part of his life. Emily's heart swells with emotion. I would love that, she says, her voice thick with gratitude. It means the world to me to know that I can continue to be a part of Michael's life. They share stories and laughter as the evening continues, forging an even stronger bond. Emily leaves the mansion that night with a heart full of joy and a renewed sense of purpose. She knows that her journey with Michael is far from over and that she has found a second family in the Moraleses. Driving home, Emily reflects on the twists and turns that life has taken her on. She feels a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that the love and care she gave to Michael have come full circle. With a smile, she looks forward to the future, ready to embrace whatever comes next with the same spirit and dedication that have guided her all along. The incredible journey that has brought them to this point finally culminates as Elizabeth gets up and walks over to an elegant desk in the corner of the room. She pulls out an envelope and hands it to Emily. "This is for you," Elizabeth says. "It's just a small token of our appreciation for all you've done." Emily opens the envelope and gasps at the sight of its contents. A check with a sum far exceeding her annual salary as a nurse. "Mrs. Morales, this is too much," Emily stammers. "I can't accept this." But Elizabeth shakes her head. "Please, Emily, I insist. You have done so much for our family, and we want to ensure you know how much we appreciate all your hard work and dedication." Emily looks at the check in her hands, overwhelmed by the Morales family's generosity. She knows this money could change her life, allowing her to pay off her student debts and maybe even buy her own home. But beyond the monetary value, Emily realizes that the natural gift is the opportunity to reconnect with Michael and be a part of his life again. With a smile of gratitude, Emily embraces Elizabeth, thankful for this unexpected twist of fate that has brought them together again. After the emotional reunion with Elizabeth and Michael, Emily finds herself back in the black car, her mind still spinning from the day's events. As the car drives her home, Emily reflects on the remarkable journey she has been on. Reconnecting with Michael and his family has not only filled her with immense joy but also reignited her sense of purpose and dedication. She feels blessed to have significantly impacted Michael's life and is grateful for the opportunity to continue being a part of his story. Back at her home, Emily carefully places the check on her kitchen table and sits down, taking a moment to absorb everything that has happened. She knows that her life will change in more ways than one, and she is ready to embrace the future with open arms. With a renewed sense of purpose, Emily prepares to return to the neonatal unit the next day, knowing that many more babies need her love and care. She feels a deep sense of fulfillment and is excited about the possibilities. As she gets ready for bed, Emily smiles, thinking about Michael and their special bond. She knows that no matter what challenges come her way, she will always be a guardian angel for those who need her the most. She looks out the window, watching as the elegant buildings of the city give way to the familiar sights of her neighborhood. When the car stops in front of her house, James, the driver, turns to Emily. "Senora Morales has asked me to deliver this to you," he says, extending an elegant business card. "She wants you to know that if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to contact her." Emily takes the card, her fingers brushing the smooth paper. "Thank you, James," she replies. "Please convey to Senora Morales my sincere thanks for her generosity." With a smile, Emily exits the car and heads for her house. Once inside, she plops on the couch, still trying to take in all that has happened. She looks at the check in her hands. The astronomical sum seems almost unreal. She knows this money could transform her life, but something stops her. Deep down, Emily knows that her true passion lies in caring for others. As she sits there, the day's events play over in her mind. The reunion with Michael, his parents' gratitude, and the Morales family's generosity fills her with a sense of fulfillment and purpose. She realizes that while the money is a tremendous gift, it is the opportunity to continue making a difference in the lives of her patients that genuinely matters to her. Emily decides to use the money to further her skills and knowledge in neonatal care. She envisions starting a fund to support families with premature babies, ensuring they have the resources and support they need during such challenging times. Her passion for caring for others is reignited, and she feels a renewed commitment to her profession. With determination, Emily picks up the business card and places it in a drawer for safekeeping. She then carefully sets the check aside, deciding to visit the bank the next day to discuss her plans. Emily smiles as she prepares for bed, thinking about Michael and the incredible journey that has brought her to this point. She knows that the bond she shares with him and the Morales family is a testament to the impact one person can have on another's life. And with that thought, she drifts off to sleep, ready to face the future with a heart full of hope and a spirit driven by compassion and love. Being the guiding light for those who need her most gives Emily a renewed sense of purpose. Just then, her phone rings. It's her colleague and friend, Nurse Sophia. "Emily, have you heard the news?" asks Sophia, her voice full of concern. "What news?" asks Emily, sitting up straighter. "The hospital is considering closing the neonatal intensive care unit," explains Sophia. "It's not generating enough revenue, and they're looking to cut costs." Emily's heart sinks. The neonatal unit has been her home for the past few years, where she has witnessed countless miracles and made a difference in so many young lives. "They can't do that," Emily says, her voice full of determination. "Those babies need us. We have to do something." Sophia sighs. "I wish it were that easy, Emily. But I don't see how we can avoid it unless we find a way to raise significant funds." Emily looks at the check in her hand, an idea forming in her mind. "Maybe there is a way," she says slowly. "Let me make a few calls, and I'll get back to you." After hanging up, Emily takes James's business card and dials the number. "Mrs. Morales," she says when Elizabeth answers, "this is Emily. We can help many more babies like Michael, but I need your help." As Emily explains her plan, she feels a renewed sense of purpose. She knows the road ahead will not be easy, but with Elizabeth's support and unwavering determination, she is convinced they can accomplish something extraordinary. With a deep breath, Emily prepares to embark on the most critical challenge of her life: saving the unit that has been her home and securing a brighter future for premature babies and their families. In the days following her conversation with Elizabeth, Emily immerses herself in planning her new project. She spends hours researching foundations, grants, and funding programs, looking for any opportunity that might help save the neonatal unit. Elizabeth, true to her word, offers her unconditional support. She uses her connections in the business world to set up meetings with potential donors and sponsors and works tirelessly alongside Emily to develop a solid proposal. Emily feels a growing sense of hope as the pieces fall into place. However, she knows that one significant hurdle remains: convincing the hospital's board of trustees that the neonatal unit is worth saving. Emily spends sleepless nights preparing her presentation, gathering statistics, family testimonials, and financial projections. She wants to make sure the board understands not only the medical importance of the unit but also the profound human impact it has on the lives of babies and their loved ones. Finally, the day of the presentation arrives. Emily stands in front of the board, her heart pounding. She looks around at the expectant faces of the board members and takes a deep breath. In a clear, passionate voice, Emily begins her presentation. She speaks of the countless babies she has helped care for and of the families whose lives have been transformed by the dedication and expertise of the neonatal unit staff. She shares Michael's story, highlighting the incredible impact that specialized care can have on a premature baby's long-term development and well-being. Sitting in the audience, Elizabeth smiles with pride as she hears how her son has become a symbol of hope. Emily then presents her proposal: a foundation that supports and funds the neonatal unit. With the help of Elizabeth and other committed donors, the foundation would cover the unit's operating costs and provide additional resources for research and continued care improvement. As Emily concludes her presentation, silence fills the room. Board members glance at each other, some nodding approvingly, others frowning skeptically. After what seems like an eternity, the council president clears his throat. "Señorita Ramirez," he begins, "your passion and dedication are admirable. However, we must carefully consider the financial implications of your proposal." Emily holds her breath, preparing for the worst. But then, to her surprise, the president continues, having said that, "We believe your foundation has the potential to do incredible good for our community. If you provide a detailed plan and financial assurances, the board will reconsider closing the neonatal unit." Emily can barely contain her excitement. With tears of relief and gratitude, she thanks the board for their time and consideration. As she leaves the meeting, Elizabeth wraps her in a hug. "You did it, Emily," she whispers. "I'm so proud of you." Emily smiles, knowing this is just the beginning. There is much work ahead, but with Elizabeth's support and the strength of her conviction, she is ready to face any challenge that comes her way. Together, Emily and Elizabeth set out to build a lasting legacy that will ensure babies like Michael will always have the opportunity to fight, grow, and thrive. With tentative approval from the hospital board, Emily and Elizabeth dive headlong into establishing the foundation. They spend countless hours drafting bylaws, establishing a board of directors, and mapping out a strategic plan to ensure the long-term viability of the neonatal unit. Elizabeth uses her extensive network of contacts to attract potential donors and sponsors. She organizes elegant fundraising events where she shares Michael's story and the foundation's vision with some of the city's most influential citizens. Emily, meanwhile, works tirelessly to strengthen the neonatal unit's programs and services. She collaborates with doctors and nurses to implement new treatment protocols. She establishes a support program for the families of premature babies, providing them with resources and guidance throughout the process. As the foundation gains momentum, they begin to see tangible results. Donations flow in, enabling the purchase of state-of-the-art medical equipment and hiring additional staff. The survival rate of premature babies in the unit steadily increases, and families express profound gratitude for the exceptional level of care they receive. One day, while Emily is making her rounds in the unit, she comes across a young mother crying beside her baby's incubator. She gently approaches and places a comforting hand on the woman's shoulder. "I know how hard this is," Emily says softly, "but I want you to know you're in the best place possible. Your baby is in the hands of an incredibly dedicated and compassionate team." The mother looks at Emily with teary eyes. I feel so helpless," she confesses. "Like there's nothing I can do to help my baby." Emily smiles empathetically. "I understand exactly how you feel. But let me tell you something I've learned over the years. A mother's love is the most powerful force. Your presence here, your voice, your touch helps your baby in ways we can't even begin to comprehend." As they talk, Emily shares her experience with Michael and how their unbreakable bond was instrumental in his recovery. The young mother listens intently, finding comfort and strength in Emily's words. Over time, the foundation has become a role model for other neonatal units nationwide. Emily is invited to speak at conferences and seminars, sharing the best practices and innovative strategies that have made her foundation successful. Through it all, Emily never loses sight of the true heart of her mission, the brave little fighters she has dedicated her life to caring for. Whenever she looks at a premature baby, she sees Michael's face and marvels at how a single child can have such a profound impact. As Emily watches the babies in the unit, each one clinging to life with a tenacity that defies explanation, she knows she has found her true purpose. With Elizabeth by her side and the foundation thriving, Emily feels more determined than ever to be the guiding light for these little souls, illuminating their path to a brighter future. The years pass, and Emily sees countless premature babies move in and out of the neonatal unit, each one leaving an indelible mark on her heart. With each success and life saved, Emily feels a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. Through it all, Michael remains a constant presence in her life. As he grows, he becomes a regular visitor to the unit, bringing smiles and laughter to the exhausted parents and medical staff. Emily watches in amazement as Michael develops from a curious toddler to a compassionate and thoughtful young man. He shows an intelligent interest in medicine, often asking insightful questions about the treatments and procedures used in the unit. One day, during one of his visits, Michael approaches Emily with a look of determination. "Emily," he says, his voice full of conviction, "when I grow up, I want to be like you. I want to help babies like me, give them a chance to live and grow." Emily feels tears in her eyes as she listens to Michael's words. She realizes that, in many ways, her influence and her unwavering dedication have inspired Michael's passion for helping others. "Michael," Emily responds, hugging him tightly, "I do not doubt you will accomplish amazing things. You have such a kind heart and such a brilliant mind. These babies will be lucky to have you as their champion, just as I have been lucky to be a part of your life." As Michael grows up, Emily becomes his mentor, guiding him on his path to medicine. She encourages him to pursue his dreams and to never lose sight of the compassion and empathy that have defined him since his earliest childhood. Under Emily's guidance, Michael flourishes. He excels in his studies, earning praise from teachers and peers alike. Through it all, he never loses his connection to the neonatal unit, volunteering countless hours and learning from the doctors and nurses who once saved his life. The years go by in the blink of an eye, and before Emily knows it, Michael is graduating from medical school with honors and distinctions. At the graduation ceremony, Emily sits in the front row, her heart bursting with pride and joy. When Michael steps to the podium to give his graduation speech, his eyes meet Emily in the audience. With a smile, he begins to speak. Today, as we embark on the next chapter of our lives, I want to take a moment to honor someone who has been my inspiration, mentor, and second mother, Michael says, his voice charged with emotion. Emily, without you, I wouldn't be here today. You allowed me to live, to grow, to dream. You showed me the true meaning of compassion and selfless care. You are why I have chosen to dedicate my life to helping others, to be a light in someone's darkest moments, just as you have been for me. As Michael speaks, Emily feels tears roll down her cheeks. In this moment, she realizes that her journey with Michael has been more than just a nurse-patient relationship. It has been a story of love, hope, and the unwavering strength of the human spirit. After the ceremony, Emily and Michael embrace, tears of joy flowing freely. "I'm so proud of you, Michael," Emily whispers. "You have grown to become an extraordinary man." Michael smiles, his eyes bright with unshed tears. "It's all thanks to you, Emily. You gave me the wings to fly." As they part ways, Emily knows this is not the end of their story but rather the beginning of a new chapter. With Michael by her side, she is ready to face whatever challenges life throws at them, knowing they can accomplish anything together. The sun shines brightly in the sky as Emily walks to the podium, her steps full of purpose and grace. All around her, a sea of familiar faces look up to her with admiration and respect. Colleagues, friends, and families of the countless babies she has helped over the years. Today, Emily is honored for her work at the foundation and the numerous lives she has touched and transformed. Standing before the crowd, she feels overwhelming humility and gratitude. "When I began this journey," Emily begins, her voice clear and steady, "I could never have imagined the impact it would have. I have been privileged to witness daily miracles, to see the strength and resilience of the human spirit in its purest and most beautiful form." As Emily speaks, her gaze falls on the faces of those who have meant so much to her over the years. She sees Elizabeth, her partner and friend, whose unwavering support has been the foundation's bedrock. She sees the doctors and nurses with whom she has worked side by side, united in their dedication to saving lives. And then she sees Michael, standing tall and proud in his doctor's coat, with a smile of pure love and gratitude. "But of all the miracles I have witnessed," Emily continues, her voice cracking slightly with emotion, "none has been more profound or meaningful than Michael's miracle. Michael, you have taught me the true meaning of love, hope, and perseverance. You have been my inspiration, guiding force, and constant reminder of why I do what I do." Emily pauses, tears flowing freely down her cheeks. "And that's why I want to make a special announcement today. After much reflection and discussion with the board, I have decided to step back as director of the foundation, and I can think of no one better suited to take the reins than Dr. Michael Morales." A collective gasp runs through the crowd, followed by thunderous applause. Visibly surprised and moved, Michael approaches the podium and wraps Emily in a tight embrace. "Emily," he whispers, his voice choked with emotion, "I don't know what to say. I am honored and humbled. I promise I will do everything I can to continue your legacy, to be a beacon of hope for these babies and their families." Emily smiles through her tears, squeezing Michael's hand. "I know you will, Michael. You've always had a gift for healing and bringing light to the darkest places. The foundation couldn't be in better hands." As the ceremony draws close, Emily reflects on the extraordinary journey that has brought her to this moment. She realizes that, in many ways, her life has come full circle. The premature baby she once cared for with such dedication is now ready to lead the foundation she built to carry its mission and vision into the future. And yet, Emily knows that this is not an ending but a new beginning. For in every premature baby she has helped, in every family whose life she has touched, she has left a piece of her heart. Her legacy will live on in the countless lives she has changed and the love and compassion she has so generously shared. As Emily looks to the future, she knows that no matter what happens, she will always be part of something bigger than herself. And with Michael by her side, she knows that the future is bright, full of hope, possibilities, and the promise of more miracles.